What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here in the Odd Trapper channel, coming to you with a 6-game Wednesday edition of NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me, and this video goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Ended up on these Misic assists, and boy, that was an awful first half here. The afternoon, we'll see. Not afternoon, evening, whatever. You know what I'm getting at. It's just not been a fantastic start to my NBA card. You can't win them all. You can't win them all. Certainly can't. But anyway, we've got ourselves 6 games here on Wednesday on Hump Day. I'm excited about this, and I already posted a lock in Tails in my Discord down below. Well, I'll talk about how you can sign up for that for free right now, but we are done with that Tuesday promotion. It was Cyber Monday, Black Friday, all those things. Tuesday midnight, done. 9 p.m. I guess there's like maybe 2-3 hours of a window where you can still sign up for that Discord for 60% off, but otherwise it's back to full price here for the rest of the year. But you can still check out Tails for free. I will explain to you a little bit how later. But producer Jacob, he's ready to rock. I'm ready to roll. Let's get to the picks. I didn't even finish my last sentence. I'm just starting sentences and I didn't finish it. I did already post a play to Tails, a lock from this 6-gamer, and wouldn't you know it, this is not it. Detroit plus 14.5 taking on Boston. I thought it was really strange seeing Detroit only 3 points up against Milwaukee. Obviously talked through the ins and outs of that one. Milwaukee went nuts on them, but we've got some back-to-backs to address. In fact, we've got, amongst all of the teams going, 6 teams of the 12 on back-to-backs. Detroit having to take on Boston after playing Milwaukee. I mean, this is just a brutal scheduling stretch for them. And, well, wouldn't you know it, as I work through this, of course, Boston looks decent, but I think 14.5, when you're looking at 2 massive pieces of news, Drew Holiday questionable, Jason Tatum questionable, there's a chance they rest one of them here. Again, minus 1,200. Lots of ways where, you know, obviously they lost that spread. They lost straight up to Atlanta as like 16.5 point spreads. I think people have realized Atlanta playing a lot better basketball than they were expecting. And well, we bet them back to back against Cleveland. They won both of those outright, didn't even need the points. But in this spot, I'm actually just paying attention to Peyton Pritchard again. I talked about it on Kyle Kern's show on Monday. Talked about it quite a bit throughout this week in the Discord and looked at it, pick'em cards and everything of that nature. We'll see if they drop some Peyton Pritchard numbers early on, but you kind of want Drew Holiday specifically to be out for sure. Jason Tatum, I mean, that would really bolster everybody's scoring output, and the game would look entirely different. It would be more competitive, but you kind of don't want all competitive games here because Peyton Pritchard is cleanup duty. He's also just built a spot in this rotation. He's playing awesome here, and yet again, just another evisceration. Peyton Pritchard points. You're just putting it on the card potentially. I'm going to put a question mark there. I could have put 20+ points. I did put 20+ points for the people. There you go. Peyton Pritchard going to be a lean for the time being. Indy at Brooklyn -2. Indy on a back-to-back. Indy. It makes me think Indiana Jones. Last Crusade. Also Temple of Doom. Indy. Whatever. Indy and Brooklyn. And 226 is a pretty big total when we've got some interesting Brooklyn news here. Cam Johnson questionable. Dorian Finney-Smith questionable. Ben Simmons questionable, upgraded, left knee soreness. We'll see if he ends up firing that up, and that would change the complexion of the game a little bit from a rebounds and assist perspective. Ended up locking Dennis Schroeder, 10.5 rebounds plus assists. He goes for 12, even in a blowout there, and this game projects a lot closer. So, you know, that's going to be what I'm paying attention to at the open yet again, because it just seems like they're really low numbers. Plus, you could get some pieces resting here on the back-to-back. I'm looking at Andrew Nembhard for Indy. He's a good defender. He's playing here on the front end of this back-to-back. We'll see, considering he just got back, if he ends up going here on Wednesday. I find it unlikely. Ben Shepherd, Aaron Nesmith should still be out here as well. Rest candidates, there are going to be some here on the Indy side, but again, they're running into a Brooklyn team that's not on the back-to-back, although they are the walking wounded as is. Still no Cam Thomas. Jalen Martin got dinged up. Noah Clowney's out. Zaire Williams out. I mean, it is just gross to look at. Lots of minutes. Keon Johnson incoming no matter what, no matter the game script. Jalen Wilson, you saw in that starting lineup. Tyrese Martin last time out. But again, I'm paying attention to lots here. Looking at those Dennis Schroeder rebounds plus assists if you have no Ben Simmons in that one. Otherwise, you're probably looking at shorting it if you think he's going to play. But under 226, that's the only lean I have from this. Hopefully I talked through enough potential props, potential spots here for you. Let's move on. The Lakers taking on Miami, and thank you to the Lakers for getting blown out by the Timberwolves. But I have to repeat, it was such a scheduling snafu, and we'll talk about the Timberwolves a little bit later. Might fire up on the other side of them, but the Lakers, they played at altitude in Utah. You had Anthony Davis play 39 minutes, LeBron James play 36. Then you have to play the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I know we haven't been playing good basketball, but 4.5 was not a good number there. Closed at 7.5, didn't matter. They won by infinity and beyond. Almost a 30-point blowout you had for the Minnesota Timberwolves in that spot. Felt like a pretty good read. I think this is kind of the inverse of that. You've had 4 consecutive games where LeBron James has not exceeded 45% from the field. The last time he did that was in 2004. And you know what that was? His rookie season in the National Basketball Association. Look at that, me bringing hot fire on this Wednesday, but not hot fire Miami and their current iteration. Jaime Jaquez was actually fire against Boston, didn't matter. But you got Jimmy Butler questionable. I think there's a chance with this right knee soreness that he doesn't end up playing this spot. Austin Reeves, he sat out a lot more games. He ended up sitting out both sets of that back-to-back. I think there's a chance he does come back in this spot. Again, that could equally just as much work out the other way around. But no matter what, LeBron James and Anthony Davis not having to play on a back-to-back here going into Miami. LeBron James' former stomping grounds. This feels like a really short number up against a Miami team that just doesn't look good. And they've overachieved constantly with Eric Spoelstra. And now, as Jimmy Butler ages, as Bam Adebayo ages, you're going to see things really fall off a cliff for them if they can't get Pell Larson is playing rotation minutes. Haywood Highsmith having to be out there for defensive purposes in that starting unit. It's a tough ask here, and I know the Lakers have struggled here at times. You got a decent enough outing from D'Angelo Russell in that starting lineup, but hopefully Austin Reeves is back, and hopefully we get them winning this one outright. Even money on the Lakers is pretty nice with their current iteration. I like Anthony Davis here. Again, having that back-to-back, I think people are looking at that last game. It was such a trap against Minnesota. Now, having a day in Miami, I guess that can always be difficult. Joel Embiid knows that. But Lakers money line, I really do like it. I also really like the idea of you signing up and getting into the Tails Discord for free if you have not signed up at one of these 11 sites. You have Pick'em on the left, you have Sportsbooks on the right, you have Rebet at the bottom, an awesome site as well. You sign up at any one of those 11, you're going to get a month of my premium Tails package of $50 value completely free. So go to the link below, sign up and follow these 4 simple steps. Choose one of the promos, sign up using the offer, deposit and place a bet, take screenshots of your welcome email and first settled bet, and email support@oddshopper.com. I know it sounds like a lot, but really all you're doing is signing up at one of those great 11 sites, screenshot of your welcome email and settled bet, first settled bet that is, and email support@oddshopper.com and tell them you want Lindy's package. That sounds really creepy putting it that way, but that's what it is, friends. Back to the picks we go. Lindy's package. I can work on my phrasing. Orlando -2.5 at Philly. Fortunately, didn't put anything Jalen Suggs-ish on the card because I thought some of his props, it was weird. From a DFS perspective, I thought he was really low owned. If anybody's out there playing DFS in the streets, check out Stokastic on NBA Live Before Lock with Greg Ehrenberg almost every single Monday through Friday throughout the entire NBA season. But Orlando, they're 2.5-point favorites taking on Philly, and Philly is handling business here up against Charlotte for the most part. We'll see how this second half comes to fruition. But as I work through it, Orlando is getting completely pummeled by the Knicks here. And, well, we'll see if this ends up being something where you have rest candidates on the Orlando side. And wouldn't you know it, I think that's exactly what we get in some capacity. You had Goga Bitadze scratched before that Knicks game. And, well, this turned this into a nuclear potential lock. Let me repeat to the people in the back. Goga Bitadze, it made no sense to me last season. Some people don't know who he is. That's just fine. He's the ancillary bench piece, or once upon a time bench piece from Indy. Ends up here in Orlando, and he found a little bit of a home because defensively, he is that dude. Last season, you go through some of his historical numbers, 93rd percentile defender. This season, 95th percentile defender in dunks and threes. We have a chance of him getting ripped off the floor, and obviously he's a flat-footed, tall, 6'11 dude out there. But that would really change the complexion of this basketball game. You still have no Joel Embiid. He's not expected to be going here again in this spot, but you got Paul George. Does he play on this back-to-back? Do you have Andre Drummond playing? No, I doubt it. He should be out for at least a week. I think that was the news that we saw come through as well. But what I'm saying at this point in time is 204 is the opening number at FanDuel. FanDuel is the only spot that this opened at so far, and it got jammed. we're going to jam this. You should jump on this as soon as you hear me, no matter what book you're looking at, no matter where you're listening. Lock the pace over 204. This is a very low number by NBA standards and some really inefficient shooting by Orlando in that first half. Looking at you, Jalen Suggs, of course, but I'm very much here for Philly with Tyrese Maxey on the back-to-back, Jared McCain on the back-to-back. I think you could see McCain walk into a larger role. Paul George, does he even play on this back-to-back? And Orlando has tons of rest candidates based on injury history. Jonathan Isaac, Wendell Carter Jr., the main two I'm looking at. You could see a very thin front court that could lead to more pace, more guard play, more small ball lineups on the Orlando side. But Wagner will be out there no matter what. But Orlando, -2.5. Not going to be paying attention to that one because I think it's a pretty uncertain spot. But over 204, I repeat, 212 is where I have this number closer to based on who I think ends up playing here. Multiple iterations. I have the spread landing between 210 and 213, and all of them, huge deal to be getting 204 here. Way too low of an opening number. Atlanta at Milwaukee, and I really want to add this to the card. Really, really do. But I think there's a chance if Giannis plays on this back-to-back, if Dame plays on this back-to-back, that we see Atlanta +4 turn into 4.5, 5. And I repeat, they handled absolute business going up against Detroit. Just completely put the gauntlet down on them in that first half. We'll see how the second half ends up rolling out. But 78 points in the first half for the likes of all those guys. Gary Trent Jr. Knocking down shots again. That's what they've been looking for. Taurean Prince, 3 for 3 from 3 in that first half. Really good stuff overall. I think if we're patient, I think we're going to get a better number here to be able to take Atlanta. So that's why I'm making this a lean like. It's technically a play for me right now, based on what we've seen from Atlanta. You're starting to see some really solid basketball from them. Milwaukee, they're the ones on the back-to-back. You want to try to attack this potentially early, although it's not like the books don't know that it's a back-to-back. I have to repeat that multiple times because it seems like whenever I read analysis on X, that just seems to be something people think is a novel concept that wasn't really captured. But there are times like back-to-backs with the Minnesota situation hosting the Lakers where I just don't think that the number is taking that into account. So as such, lean like if you really want it. If you really want it, Atlanta +4. I'm going to hopefully get a +5 here tomorrow. If you end up getting Giannis or Dame sitting, that's just not going to be the case, and I will have missed the boat on this, sadly. In our last game of the night, holy crap, we're going to be under 15 minutes today. Minnesota 3.5-point favorites against the Clippers. This is a little bit too much respect for my Minnesota Timberwolves. Said it like 48 times throughout this show, but as much as I like, and I'm encouraged by what we saw from them against the Lakers, that was kind of a no-brainer slam on the Minnesota side of things. That's why they were your lock. And now taking on the Clippers here in this spot, very different defensive situation. And, well, Clippers not on a back-to-back themselves. So that is something that really, 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 really matters. However, I do feel pretty encouraged by what we saw from Dante DiVincenzo no matter what. He played the entire second quarter, the entire stint, because he was knocking down shots finally. 2 for 4 from 3 in that rotation. Added some rebounds. Played alongside Mike Conley for the first 5 minutes and it was 11 seconds. 5 minutes and 11 seconds there of that second quarter. I'm encouraged if you can have Conley and him sharing the floor together. You had Nickeil Alexander-Walker as well. They went extreme small ball against the Lakers. Kind of liked it, kind of loved it. I think you can do the same thing when Ivica Zubac is off the floor, and then you got Rudy Gobert in there for those other major minutes. Lots of ways where this game potentially leads to more points than 210, but I think it's pretty close to it. I actually lean towards the Clippers +3.5 here. Another spot where I think you might be getting +4, +4.5 come first tip by this game, so I'm going to sit and wait on that one. But don't sleep on Dante DiVincenzo. I think if you're getting 2.5 threes as like an opening number plus money towards that over, I think 3+ threes is very much in the realm of possibility here for me. I think you're going to run into him having to play better basketball because he couldn't have played much worse to start off this season. But less than a quarter of the season down, lots of time for improvement, lots of time for us to capitalize on improved shooting, improved numbers. Dante DiVincenzo, let's be early to the party in the event that he is back. And that does it for another edition of NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Again, go down below, check out all the great fixings we have here at Tails. And if you want, sign up in order to get into that Discord for free by checking out one of those 11 sites that, well, let's pop it on the screen one more time for the people, Jacob. 11 sites, you got an awesome opportunity to sign up for free when you follow these 4 simple steps. Throw them back up on the screen one more time. Do those. Take screenshots of your first welcome email, first settled bet to support@oddchopper.com. and you'll get Lindy's locks for free. Alrighty, y'all. Until next time, until Thursday, check out NFL Lindy's there on Thursday night for Thursday Night Football as well. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Hump Day.